Good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you to our very first Power Hour by Roanoke Electric Cooperative. I'm Curtis Wynn, the President and CEO of Roanoke Electric. We're so excited to host yet another meeting with you, members of the community, member owners of Roanoke Electric. Welcome to our meeting. Just to give you a little bit of a background, before COVID-19 hit, we used to have all kinds of meetings in the community. We used to have a Roanoke Chowan Partners for Progress 2 meeting that we would have that was very much community focused. And we used to also have these straight talk forums that were meetings hosted by our board of directors who would invite you out to allow the staff to come out and give you an update on what's happening with your electric cooperative. And leading up to our annual meeting, I'll go ahead and tell you that our annual meeting this year is going to be virtual, and there are going to be a lot of changes with that. And that is another way we used to get together. So our Power Hour is really a combination of what used to be straight talk forums as well as RCPP2 meetings. And this is our virtual way to stay in touch with you, to stay connected to both member owners of the cooperative and our community partners, of which we consider ourselves an integral part. We have scheduled a series of these throughout the year and hope tonight will not be the last time that you tune in and be a part of these. And we hope you'll continue to invite others as you come to more of these that we'll have throughout the year. As we have so much that we want to share with you as your electric cooperative during these 1 hour Power Hour sessions. There's a lot happening at Roanoke Electric Cooperative and that we want and need to share with you, especially as we are so isolated these times of COVID-19 and trying to manage our way through this deadly pandemic. We have a great lineup for you tonight. You will see the agenda later. We have 4 exciting speakers that are going to come to you tonight. I'll be introducing each one of them as they come up. But first, allow me to introduce my boss, Columbus Jeffers, who's going to be welcoming you further with further remarks and giving us our invocation. Let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Jeffers. He resides in Roanoke Rapids and has served on the Roanoke Electric Co-op Board of Directors since 2011. He is a native of Halifax. He graduated from Halifax County Technical Institute, where he studied business administration. And for 38 years, he worked for Dominion Energy and retired as a senior safety coordinator. The best way for me to describe Mr. Jeffers is that he is a good guy. He's a good man. In addition to his role at Roanoke Electric, he also serves as chairman of the Tar Heel Electric Membership Corporation Board. He's served as chairman of the Halifax Community Alumni Association and a board member of Angel's Closet in Roanoke Rapids. He attends First Baptist Church in Roanoke Rapids, where he previously served as the chairman of the Deacon Board and continues to be actively involved in its ministry, outreach ministry. Mr. Jeffers, let me turn it over to you at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Wynn. I didn't realize all that could be said about me, but I really appreciate those kind words. Let us bow for prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you today with our hearts humble. We come to you with hearts of thanksgiving. We thank you so much for allowing us to have this Power Hour meeting today. Father, we want to thank you for all of the employees that have worked so hard to put this event on. And Father, we want to thank you doubly for our guests that are on today. And we thank you for the love that you have given us. And Father, as we go through this world right now with this pandemic and all the other things that are going on, we ask that you would give us a heart of appreciation, a heart of love, a heart of thanksgiving, a heart of forgiveness. And let us bear one another's burdens. Father, we thank you for all that you have done for us. This is our prayer in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jeffers. We certainly appreciate the invocation and invoking Heavenly Father into our meeting tonight. I mentioned to you earlier that we have four very distinguished speakers tonight. I'm going to introduce our first speaker, who's going to give us a member services update with what's happening in the member services area at Roanoke Electric Cooperative. Kirby Jordan is the Vice President of Member Services, Communications, Marketing, and Public Relations for the co-op. She joined our team in 2019 with a wealth of experience from some of the largest companies in America, such as Fruit of the Loom, where she served as their Vice President of Corporate Communications, and Midwest Vaco, where she was their Senior Public Relations Manager. Kirby was educated in the state of Florida, which is where I was born and raised, at Florida State University, where she received her Bachelor's of Arts in Corporate Communications. Without further ado, I present to you Kirby Jordan, who's going to provide you with our member services update. Kirby?
Thank you, Mr. Wynn. Good evening, everybody. We're so happy that you could join us for our first Power Hour, and welcome to everybody to hear our updates. Like Mr. Wynn said, I'm going to talk a little bit about member services and let you know that I work with a great team of member service reps that answer each and all of your calls every single day. And I can tell you quite confidently, it seems like the #1 topic we talk about is how to lower your energy bills and save you money. And the team handles these calls, and we want to help you today get some ideas of some things that you can do. Anyhow, we know this year was a little bit different. There were a couple things going on in all of our homes and our lives. We know that it was quite a cold winter this year and lots of rain. So many of you had colder homes and much damper homes due to the weather, and we didn't have the sunshine as often. So unfortunately, that made our homes colder, and we had to heat them more than we did in the last couple of years. Also, this year with COVID, many families had children at home. They were working from home like we are remotely at times. So again, there's more need for power throughout the day. So we hope these tips will help you out. We hope that we have a warmer winter next year. We're getting into spring now. We hope that COVID is gone for once and for all, and we can, come back to our new normal and help you out. So anyhow, our first slide that you can see is that we have a really nice feature. I think just about everybody these days now has a cell phone, but we have usage alerts. And this is a great way to help you better manage your energy consumption. We'll get a note from us delivered via text or email, real-time information, so you can set a threshold and let us know when you feel like you're going a little bit too far. We can quickly let you know, and you can change some of the things at your house to bring that energy bill down. All you have to do is simply text JOIN to 352-667 to opt in for text alerts, or call the office at 252-209-2236 to receive alerts via email. Our team will be on duty and ready to help set you up. Our next slide is another tip. Another great way to help you save money, time, and the environment all at once is paperless billing. I know many of you are familiar with this with other companies, that if you receive your bills via email and get the access to your information online, they'll sometimes give you a credit, but not all the time. Sometimes there'll be a penalty if you don't go with paperless, but we're going to give you a monthly credit of 50 cents on your bill if you opt into our paperless billing system. Again, it's saving you time. It has all your information right there at your computer, and you're saving a few trees too by not using up so much paper. Another incentive we have is the bank draft. You pay your electric bill automatically each month out of your checking account, and you can choose your bank draft dates. So if you'd rather have it the 3rd, the 10th, the 18th, or the 25th of the month, those are our billing cycles, and we'll work with you to do whichever cycle you'd like. And if you choose that incentive, there's a monthly credit of $1 on your bill. So right there, that's a great savings. That would give you $12 over the year, but over time, and many of you have been with us for years that we're so appreciative of, that can really add up to some great savings. We also have a time of day plan, a time of day rate, so that you know when the rates are a little bit higher for us when there's a peak demand and many people are on the system. And you can simply sign up for that plan, and then you know when it's more efficient and less expensive to be on with your power. We also have budget billing, which is a great system that you know that your bills are going to be higher certain months of the year. So with budget billing, you have a constant billing, across the months, so that it stays very similar each and every month. That way you're not surprised with different charges, some that are very high and some that are very low. This is just a steady way to keep your bills the same. And that's what we do at our house, and it makes it so much easier because we just kind of know at all times what we need to budget for our monthly power bill. Another option that just came up, we were talking in a meeting, was our EV program, our electric vehicle program. This is one that you might not think, well, how is that going to save me money? But as it turns out, we have a lot of information on our website, and we've been putting it out in our newsletter. But an electrical vehicle will also put you on a plan that shows where there's peak demand, much like the time of day usage rate, and when it's more efficient and economical to charge your EV. And that's a standard $50 a month for that credit for charging your EV as much as you need to. So that is another kind of different way of saving. But it also, with gas prices rising, electric vehicles are becoming more and more popular, and we know more and more charging stations are coming out to our communities. So it will be much more prevalent in the coming years. The last thing I wanted to mention is this notice that's up on the slide. We are going to change in our mail-in payment process to accepting your bills. We want to streamline our check processing system, and we're going to outsource this to a center in Birmingham, Alabama. This is a good thing in some ways because it allows us to be more efficient in the call center. It allows our member service reps to have more time with you on the phone, answering all your questions about our many services and programs. And this way we will have this other team process the checks and the billing. So we do want to remind you and ask you that you may need to average in a couple days into your bill payments if you're going to still pay through the mail. But if you choose not to go through the mail, we have our office has a drive-through, we have a drop box, we have many kiosks around town, or you can do some of the paperless billing and bank draft options that I just mentioned. Plus, there's an easy app that you can use. So we're trying to make it more and more convenient for our member owners to have options and ways to pay their bill. But we did want to let you know, starting April 1st, we will be having your bills sent to Birmingham. So please allow a little bit of a buffer when you mail your bill. Thank you so much for all your continued support, and we are here to help you whenever we can. Please feel free to call us at any time. And if you've got more questions or concerns, another option for our EV program would be to contact Patrice Jordan at our office too. Thank you so much. And now I'll turn it over back to Mr. Wynn.
All right. Thank you, Kirby. And we appreciate those updates. There is so much we can do. And like you said, it's really all about what we call pocketbook issues, trying to help our member owners cut back on costs any way we can think of. Let me remind you, some of you might have questions for Kirby. So we are asking you to hold your questions until the end. We do encourage you, if you are familiar with Teams, you can place your questions in the chat box and just send them that way, and then our team will accumulate those questions, and we will provide those questions to the presenters. We left some time at the back end of this, about 15 minutes, for questions and answers, so that we can make sure we have time to dialogue with you about those. So once again, thank you, Kirby, for those updates on our member services program. Next, we want to give you an update on the Roanoke Center. The Roanoke Center is our 501c3 organization that we put in place way back in 2000, and is set up to help develop the community, to help in as many ways as we can to become a part of economic and community development. And Reba Holly is going to tell you all about some of the exciting things that are happening at the Roanoke Center. She is our resource developer, and she manages our nonprofit entity that we call the Roanoke Center. Now, Reba joined our team in December of 2015, and that was only a few months after ending a 33-and-a-half-year career with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension. She finished up as the Gates County Extension Director. You don't have to be around Reba very long before you will learn that she is a proud Aggie, having graduated from NC, North Carolina A&T State University, magna cum laude, with a BS degree in home economics, clothing, and textiles. Reba continued her education at UNC Greensboro, receiving a Master's of Science in Clothing and Textiles. I want you to welcome Reba Green Holly. Reba, come on and tell us about the Roanoke Center.
How are you? Well, do you all have the slides ready? Okay, you can move on to the second one. The Roanoke Center is located in Rich Square on the main street, and our hours are from 8 to 5. We close during lunch, 12:30 to 1:30. We have a public access center for the public to access computer use from our hours 8 to 12:15 and 1:30 to 1:45. We also have a hotspot out in the front parking lot. The building also has services that can be used for office and event rentals, the public access I mentioned. The Sustainable Forestry Land Retention Program is housed there, along with a blessing box on the outside. And those are some of the things that the Roanoke Center has to offer. Of course, if you need any office support like copies or faxes. The Sustainable Forestry Program is ran by Alton Perry, and it's helping with African American farmers to improve their land and forestry ownership. A faith-based energy program, and as you can see, those are some of our staff. We also have a virtual justice program that provides legal workshops sponsored by North Carolina Central, and the Blessing Box has free food out front. Right now, we have 2 lead tenants. That's Benford Insurance Agency and CARES doing business as John 316. We lost some of our tenants due to COVID and the affordability of them being able to continue renting, but we hope we'll get some more. Earth Day is coming up, and we will be a part of that with Roanoke Electric on April 23rd to support their programs, along with programs that we market during the same time as the Roanoke Electric. What you see now is topics that are coming up for the virtual justice program. You can zoom in on these, and they added a health component since COVID happened. So I'm not going to name these, but as it flips through, you'll see different programs with different professionals that will be speaking, and they're free to the public to join. All you have to do is click into their link that was at the top of the presentation. But if you need that, you can call our office to get that, and you can also get on their mailing list so you can automatically get notifications sent to you about the upcoming topics in their series. The Roanoke Center also supports the Roanoke Electric through writing grants, especially when the entity has to be a nonprofit. That has been a plus for Roanoke Electric to have a nonprofit entity that can apply for a variety of grants to help with economic development, workforce development, and broadband. It's what we've been focusing on for the past year, trying to make sure we have our people connected in our service area. And there you can see the site location you can go to, or the phone number if you're interested. This Easter, we will be closed on April 2nd, and we want to wish everybody a happy Easter. And last but not least, a little tidbit that we want to give you is There were 317 member owners when Roanoke Electric first energized its original 56 miles of line on May 29th, 1939. And since that time, the system has expanded to over 2,000 miles of line serving more than 14,500 member owners in Bertie, Halifax, Hertford, Northampton, Gates, Perquimans, and Chowan County. And last but not least, that is our contact information for the Roanoke Center.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Reba. Thank you for those updates on the Roanoke Center. We certainly appreciate that. A lot is happening at the Roanoke Center, and Reba's doing a tremendous job of helping us raise funds to manage and take care of a lot of our major projects that we have at Roanoke Electric Cooperative. So next, I want to introduce our third speaker. We're going to hear next from Melissa Smith, who is the Roanoke Connect sales manager. And Melissa is one of the newest members of our team, joining us in November of 2020 to head up our broadband sales. Melissa is a Hertford County native, and she has extensive experience in sales and training, working with companies like Verizon and other companies that are involved in bringing products to the customers. And we're so happy to have Melissa as a part of our team. She's getting off to a very, very good start, and now she's going to come on and tell us some more about a very exciting project that we started on here, our marquee project at Roanoke Electric called Roanoke Connect. Melissa, come on and give us some updates on what's happening with our Roanoke Connect project.
Thank you, Mr. Wynn, for that introduction. I greatly appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Melissa Smith, and I'm the Roanoke Connect manager, and I am going to be giving you updates about our great project, which is broadband internet. We're here to bring broadband to our counties. Next slide, please. So Roanoke Connect currently has 733 homes with broadband internet as of February 2021. We have completed installing fiber to the home in our Jackson 1 area, and we installed 40 homes when we first started this back in November. Crews are currently working to complete our broadband installation in the Conway area in Northampton County. We started with 142 subscribers to install for Roanoke Connect, and we currently only have 41 homes left for that installation. Once we're finished with that project, we are moving on to the Mapleton area. Scheduling for installs for that area will begin sometime in April, and we currently have 125 new subscribers for that phase. So time is running out for you to register for service in those areas. So if you are in the Mapleton area, on the slide, I think it's the next one, we'll be giving you some of the roads that we're going to be on. If you live on any of those roads and you have not registered, please do so. And we'll also be giving you some contact information. Here we go. How do you sign up? If you're interested in signing up, we give you several ways to be able to do that. We do understand that everybody does not have access to the internet or does not have very good internet, so we're here to help you with that. You can call the 1-800 number and select option 4, and that will connect you to someone in the Roanoke Connect department directly. You can also contact me, 252-862-6303, or my counterpart, Basil Williams, 252-518-2751 for more information. Or if you just need to register, you can click the link. It is on our website as well. If you look at some of the below areas, I'm only going to name a few that are in our Mapleton phase. And again, right now we're waiving the installation. If you get one of our smart grid devices installs, you will get the $99.99 installation fee waived. So just a few of those roads are Liverman Mill, New Hope Church Road, Boone's Bridge, Turkey Branch, Wise's Store Road, and Watson Mill Road. Next slide, please. Now, after the Mapleton phase, we'll be moving on to the Allanda phase. So if you live on any of these roads here that you see, and we do have a few more, you'll probably be hearing from us sometime soon. If you have not registered, we're going to try to reach out to everybody that we can. Please keep in mind, if you have already registered and you registered back in 2018, to please go on and you can pick your plan now that we have available. If you need some help with that, you're more than welcome to give us a call. And if you have any questions, we are here and available to help you. Next slide. All right, so I'm just going to give a brief how to sign up. So you go to our website to register. Right there to your right, or it may be your left, you'll see where you put your name and address. You'll have an arrow there. You pick your home and then you hit next. And then right here, you're going to put your email address. This is very important that you use an email address that you check regularly. Due to the fact that we're doing paperless billing, we want to be able to contact you so we can bill you once you get installed. You'll need your name and your phone number added as well. And then you'll pick your internet service that you'd like, your plan. Then you hit next. And there's a few more small things that you can do. You can do a speed test to see what you currently have, your existing service. You can do a quick survey on anything you want us to know and hit submit, and then you're done. We will immediately, within a few moments, get an email to our email and letting us know that you have registered, and then we're able to put you, and it goes into our crowd fiber so that we're able to know that you're on the list, and we can contact you if we need to ask you any more questions. So here's a list of our broadband pricing. So we have a lot of affordable pricing, and anybody who currently has internet will see that we are very competitive. You do get unlimited service. With us, you're actually paying for the speed. So we offer up to 50 megabytes per second, or up to as much as 1 gig. If you have any questions about these megabytes per second, you're more than welcome to give us a call, and we can gladly go over with you, what service may be the best for your household. We do require, when we set up the appointment for the install, that you pay your first month up front. So whichever plan you choose. Your first bill will be prorated, and there is a $99.99 installation fee on your first bill, but that can be waived if you subscribe to one of our smart grid devices. If you choose to have a paper bill, it is a $2.50 charge. We are trying to go green and save all those trees and not process so many paper, so that we are trying to produce everything through email. We will provide you with a router, a Wi-Fi router. For some reason, if you decide to move or no longer want our service, I have no idea why you'd want that because it's so great, wouldn't want our service. But if you do decide to do that, we do ask that you do return the equipment. If you do not, there will be a $200 fee for the equipment on your last bill, because that is what we're paying for the router in order to give it to you. Next slide. Where to next? So I kind of went over Orlando. We have 331 potential member subscribers there. This is going to be another large phase for us. So we do ask that you go on and register if you have not. And if you have any questions, please contact us. Next slide. So these next couple of slides are going to be, and these are also, I believe, available on our website. They're going over different areas that we're going to be going to. They let you know when we're going into construction, by the different colors, what roads we're going to be on, what quarter we're going to be doing. So we'll just quickly go through. This one is for Burt T. Next slide. The next one is Gates County. We have Halifax County as well. And here's Hertford County. And there's Northampton. I will just put this briefly in. Even if you don't see your address or where you live on the maps that we just went through, we do encourage everyone to register. This lets us know that you are interested in our service, so that if we're coming by your area or we're deciding to extend out from where we currently are providing service, we'll be able to know who is interested, so we would be able to get to you maybe much quicker. We do ask that you only register one time. registering multiple times is not going to get us any faster to you. It actually causes a lot of work on the back end. When we're going through, we have to continue to delete multiple people that register. So we ask that you only register once. But again, if you do have any more questions, feel free to contact us. We are here to help you. And we look forward to you joining and becoming member subscribers of Roanoke Connect.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Melissa. We certainly appreciate that update. I know there are going to probably be some questions for you after we finish tonight and we get into the question and answer session of our meeting tonight, but we'd really appreciate you providing that very timely update to let us know where we are with our project. And it is a very exciting project that we have at Roanoke Electric, trying to bring broadband to our communities throughout the northeastern region. Okay, we have provided you 3 very good updates about what's happening at the cooperative. Now we want to transition and provide you with our featured topic tonight. And this is one of those type topics that we would have had at our Roanoke Chowan Partners for Progress 2 meetings, where we bring in someone from the community other than ourselves at Roanoke Electric to talk about a very important topic. And we have done exactly that tonight. Next, we have Dr. Brent Chafin who's with Vidant Roanoke Chowan Hospital. He's the director of pain, and he's going to be director of pain services, I should say. And he's going to be talking with us about healthcare and vaccines. And he's going to also introduce himself, tell you a little bit more about his background as a part of his presentation. But you're in for another very informative presentation coming from Dr. Chafin. Dr. Chafin, I turn it over to you. Thanks for being with us.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. And I think I have, what, an hour, 2 hours to speak on? Is that right, Mr. Wynn?
I think you're at the wrong meeting, Dr. Chafin.
Oh, okay. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But
you could. We'll give you 3 hours tonight.
I thank you for the opportunity to share. And let me just say that I wasn't looking for this opportunity. It just kind of fell into my lap, and I believe it was divine intervention. We start looking at the things that we go through in life and how they impact other people. And to be honest with you, I was just looking for a charger to be installed around the hospital for my car. And I want to put a little plug in for electric vehicles. I love my electric vehicle. I will never buy another internal combustion engine again. Not only do I save money on gas, I pay a fraction to charge my car versus gas-powered vehicles. It's cleaner. I don't have to deal with oil changes. I don't have to deal with transmission, and probably won't have to ever replace the brakes because the engine slows the car down. So that's my plug for electric vehicles. And that was the reason for me contacting Patrice. But she asked me if I'd be interested in sharing my story with COVID, and she doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to share it with you. So I asked to introduce myself because it's not often that I get a crowd this size that I'm able to toot my own horn. So thank you for that opportunity. I am a graduate of North Carolina A&T State University. It's not a competition, but I did graduate summa cum laude. And after I graduated from there with a degree in biology, I went on to Marshall University and studied solid state superconductors. And that was a very long year. And from there, I went to med school at East Carolina University and studied medicine. From there, I went to Medical University of South Carolina, studied anesthesia, subspecialty in pain, and ended up coming to Ahoskie in 2007. So I've been there about 15 years. And I thought I would only be there a short period of time, but what I found is that I've been able to make a huge difference, not only in the community, but nationally and internationally in what I do. So that's my intro. Let's move on to the next slide if we could. Do I do that? All right, so what I'm known for is minimally invasive lumbar decompression through a little hole the size of a baby aspirin. I treat spinal stenosis. If that doesn't work, we look at putting spacers in between the bones through a hole about the size of a dime. And, of course, we offer injections, and we also treat people with spinal cord stimulation. All these were not present prior to me coming to Eastern North Carolina, and they're still not present in most of North Carolina. So even though we're in a rural area, we're still the cutting edge, and a lot of my techniques are what's being taught throughout the nation. And I say internationally as far as treatment options go, because I actually was able to do some spinal cord stimulation when I was in Spain a couple of years ago. So that's me tooting my own horn. Let's get to what we really came for tonight. If we could look at the next slide, please. All right, so when Patrice asked me to talk about COVID, I thought, man, what a great opportunity to share what I've experienced. As an interventional pain provider, I see patients on a regular basis, and we've all been affected by the COVID virus. So about a year ago, and these are my daughters. So I've kind of beat the odds in a number of ways, and having 5 daughters is one of the ways that I've done it. So going left to right, we have my youngest, who is Maggie. She's 7. Then we have Sophie, who's 10. Actually, she's 11 now. Essie is 12. And then Lily is 14, and Mary Farrell is 16. So about a year ago, our world was changed with COVID, and we were all kind of trying to adjust. And my middle daughter, and she's in the middle here as well, said to me, she's like, Dad, can't we all just get the COVID virus and get it over with? I mean, most of the time the symptoms aren't that significant, and we'll be immune to it after that, and we just get back to our normal routine. And I kind of chuckled, and I was like, yeah, that may be ideal, but let's just wait and see how things play out. Well, our world as a family was turned upside down about 3 months ago. And what happened was Essie, the middle daughter, came down with a COVID-related illness. Sorry. And the condition is known as MISC. It stands for multisystem inflammatory syndrome. And, at some point in time, she had COVID virus, and we didn't know that she had it. And this syndrome develops 4 to 6 weeks after you have the virus. And she started off having headaches, developed a fever, and as soon as she started developing those symptoms, I was like, oh, she's got COVID. We'll just get her tested. And we had her tested, and she was negative for the virus. So I'm like, oh, I'm a doctor. I got this. She's got strep throat. So I started treating her for strep throat, and it wasn't getting better. And so about 3 days into it, she came downstairs, and she's like, I didn't have enough energy when I got out of bed, and I fell. So then, I knew something wasn't right. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew something wasn't right. And I asked my wife to take her directly to the emergency department at the Children's Hospital ECU. Well, while there, they ran a series of tests, and my wife was texting me as an anesthesiologist. I'm looking at the monitor, watching all her vitals, asking for labs, and all the stuff. Her heart rate was up, her blood pressure was down, and just she wasn't responding to fluid. Well, they diagnosed her as having this condition. And, they ruled out a lot of other things. So fortunately, it was diagnosed early. She was able to receive an infusion in the ICU, and she spent 2 nights there, but she was directly discharged home from the ICU. And the reason I wanted to share this, and Essie is fine now. She got cleared by all her doctors. She no longer has to have follow-up care from her specialist. We got word of that today, thank God. And but for a month she was on blood thinners, high-dose prednisone, and she wasn't allowed to do any kind of contact sports. And each of my daughters has their own special ability and talents, and Essie is my runner. She can actually run a 6-minute mile, which is pretty impressive, especially at 12 years of age. So, I take every opportunity I can to share with other people that story, because a lot of people are hesitant and they're resistant to getting the vaccine. But you never know how it's going to affect you, and chances are you can have the virus and not have any issues whatsoever. But just like in Essie's case, it can come back and cause even more problems. And I think that the most important thing for us to do is to not only take care of ourselves so we can help other people, but to prevent other people and educate other people that this too could happen to them. And the best way to prevent that is by getting the vaccine. And I know people are saying, oh, well, the vaccine has issues. The vaccine may not cover everything. And that's true. We don't live in a perfect world. But if you start looking at the vaccine, even the least effective vaccine, it's almost twice as effective as the flu vaccine. And we do hear about adverse events with the vaccine, but you take more risks driving anywhere than you do by getting this vaccine. So that's my story. I would encourage everyone to get the vaccine, not only for themselves, but for their loved ones and everyone else around them. And we'll get through this, but it's going to take either people getting the vaccine or getting the virus to develop immunity against it. So thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me to share my story. And I'll be around for questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Chafin, for that testimonial. Thank you for your professionalism and being such a great asset to our community. We're so happy that you have chosen to practice here in our area. We know that you probably have opportunities and could have choices to serve anywhere, but you have chosen to come to our community and provide us with your expertise, and we do appreciate that. Folks, you've had a good 4 presentations. I hope you've garnered some questions to ask, because we are in that time of our program that we can field questions from you. The Q&A time is now, and I will start out with a question of my own. And Dr. Chafin, if you don't mind, and Reba and Kirby and Melissa, if you all want to bring your cameras back on and let everybody see you, so we can show all of you at one time. So, Dr. Chafin, if you don't mind, I know I've wondered about this question, and it actually came up in one of our employee meetings the other day. Could you just share with us what the effects we will have as someone who has gotten vaccinated? And the question still remains, I think there's still some uncertainty about whether we can still transmit the virus if we become either vaccinated or have contracted the virus ourselves. Could you provide a little bit of insight on that?
Well, there's still a lot of unknowns out there. So there's some school of thought that if you get the vaccine, you don't need to get the virus. I think if you get the virus, you don't need to get the vaccine. And if you get the vaccine, you will not get the virus. So, but none of those are perfect. I mean, there are a lot of variables that come into play, but I think the overwhelming information supports the fact that if you have the virus, and I've talked to physicians that are in this field who have gotten the virus, they feel that they don't need the vaccine. How long that guarantees you immunity is all over the board. Some people say 8 months, some people say years. If you get the vaccine, are you immune to the virus? Well, there are variants, but I think for the most part, the vaccines are covering the variants that we experience. There are new modalities that are coming out to treat the virus. One is being a pill to help decrease the replication of the virus, just like with the flu. If you catch it early on, you can take an antiviral medication to help decrease the replication of the virus. I think that we're cautiously optimistic that we're going to beat this with people getting vaccinated. I think the more people that get vaccinated, the less likely we are to have the variants show up in this area. Of course, world travel opens us up to variants, but again, I think for the most part, if we can get a vaccine in us, even the least effective vaccine has shown some coverage of the variants that exist. So I don't know if I answered your question fully, but my take on it is the more people that can get the vaccine, the better off, and the quicker we'll get back to normal.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Patrice, I'll call on you to see if there are any questions. And Brittany, if you could take the Q&A off of the screen, let us have I think the 4 panelists can be placed on the screen. I don't know if we can stop sharing the screen and allow the panelists to be, there you go. Thank you for that.
We do have one question.
Okay.
All right. That question is, if you have been vaccinated, do you still have to wear a mask and social distance? And this question is for you, Dr. Chafin.
Yeah, so I think the CDC is recommending that you continue to wear a mask in public. There's some controversy of whether or not that should be the mainstay for that. But the CDC has also recommended that if a couple of people have, if you have 2 people in a room who have both been vaccinated, you can remove your mask. So I think that again, it seems to change daily. For now, while we still have hot spots in North Carolina, and fortunately in our area, the numbers have continued to decrease. But what you'll also notice is that the flu has also decreased, and I think that all goes to better hygiene that we can all learn from. Masks may not be such a bad thing in certain areas. You know, we certainly want to get back to normal, but I think for now we maintain social distancing and masks.
All right, thank you.
Okay, great. I don't see any more questions. If you want to ask anyone else, do we have more questions? Please put in the chat box. Those that have dialed in, you can unmute yourself.
So I would just like to point out one thing. You know, my daughter got diagnosed with MIS-C, multi-system inflammatory syndrome, and the C stands for children. But there's also MIS-A, which can happen in adults. So we all need to be on the lookout and be aware that we can still have repercussions, even having contracted the virus.
I have a question for Melissa. Melissa, you're in charge of sales with the Roanoke Connect project, and you know you showed a list of different speeds that can be obtained for the program. What are you seeing as the most common speed that people are choosing to take with Roanoke Connect from your perspective?
It is the $59.99 plan, which is the 100 megabytes upload and download speed. I think with the times as they are and so many people having their children going to school from home, and then you have so many smart TVs and everybody wanting to stream, and then you have gamers, that speed seems to be the most popular. And then the second one is the one right above that, the 250 megabytes per second. We have had a few 1 gig upload and download. They are a little few and far between, definitely not as many as you would think. But a lot of the members and subscribers that pick the gig are normally the customers that have had really, really not great internet, and they're ready to get the fastest thing they can get. And I will say that the subscribers that I have spoken to and followed up on have given us definite praises on the speed of our internet. I'm not going to call out any of our competition, but I will say that our upload and download speeds are the same. And I think that's what makes us significantly different from other carriers, because you'll typically see your upload speed is higher, but your download speed is much lower. Whereas we do 100 up, 100 down, 250 up, 250 down, where you don't see that in our competition.
Thank you. Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome, sir. I can't believe I don't have more questions. I just knew I was going to be on fire tonight with questions.
I have a question for Dr. Khan.
Okay. Dr. Chafin, go right ahead.
All right. As a person who did contract COVID-19 and will be visiting the doctor in person for the first time since having COVID-19, what would be a conversation I may need to have with my provider?
Ooh. Well, how long ago was it you contracted the virus?
From the last of December, the last week of December, the first week of January.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it's always good to let them know how you're feeling. Questions with regards to vaccination, what their recommendations would be. You know, they may recommend that you get one or 2 doses of the vaccine to kind of build that immunity even more. So I think those would be the main things. Of course, if you're having any problems with breathing, shortness of breath, chest pain, pressure, let them know what symptoms that you may have, so that they can follow up. And I think there's a lot of things that are going to come out of this that's going to open our eyes as far as what tests we need to follow up on, what imaging we need to follow up on. But a lot of those are still variables. And even when my child was in the hospital, we were still trying to figure things out as far as what tests to do, because there is no standard of care for post-COVID post-COVID patients right now. So just stay tuned and hang in there and keep them informed and ask a lot of questions to your primary care.
Thank you.
Great question.
Curtis, I have a question. I would like to know if we could get the information, the contact information on the virtual justice program. It went by so fast, I didn't get a chance to write it down.
Yes,
anyway,
we can certainly get that. I think we'll get it to you. And is there a way to share it with the participants that were on tonight, Patrice? But short answer is yes, we can get it to anyone. If you would like that, we can get it to you, Mr. Jeffers, and for anyone else who would like to get it, just please contact us.
Okay. All right, thank you.
We've got time for, go right ahead, Kirby.
I was just going to add a note that anyone who is on the call tonight, we would love for you. We're going to have a recording posted of this meeting and put it on our Facebook page. And we would love for you all to post it and share it with your friends, and then you'd be eligible for a $10 gift certificate. So anyone that has joined, we'd love for you to share the recording so we can spread the word. We have all these great speakers and messages. So that would also help you get the slides so that you could see Mr. Jeffers, the virtual Justice Center and their lineup. So we will have that recording posted. We also will put it on our Facebook page, but also on the Roanoke Electric website. So there'll be various ways that you can see these slides again. And like I said, please share it so that we can spread the word to our community.
Thank you, Kirby. I will do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, please take advantage of that. That's a great opportunity. It doesn't take much to share it through your social media connections that you have, your friends. So please get the word out. We've got about 2 more minutes. I kind of combed through the list of attendees tonight. I noticed that our board chairman, another one of my bosses, is on the call tonight. Mr. Speller, if you're there, if you want to unmute your mic and say hello to everybody, we'd love to hear your voice. He might have had to jump off. So we did see our board chairman, Alan Speller, was on the call. Always glad to see it when our board members take a part in these things. They are really supportive of what we do. Mr. Jeffers has represented our board of directors. We have 9 board of directors, and his number came up tonight to be the spokesperson on behalf of the board, and we appreciate you doing that for them, Mr. Jeffers. Last call. Any other? One last question. We're getting down to the wire. We are very committed to keeping these to 1 hour. 1 hour powerful information. Our power hour. It's been great tonight. I want to take this chance to thank you, Dr. Chafin. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Kirby. Thank you, Reba. And Mr. Jeffers, thank you for being a part of our program tonight. For all of our attendees, we hope you got something out of this. And as Kirby asked you to do, please share this information with others in your circle so that we can get the word out about what's happening in our community and what's happening at Roanoke Electric Cooperative, Roanoke Connect, and the Roanoke Center. We're going to finish our meeting. We're going to bid you farewell and have a safe rest of your evening. And we do have the weather coming in, so be careful if you have to get out and about. So thank you once again for being a part of tonight's Power Hour. Have a good evening.